Okay, this is part 2. This is what it looks like when it finishes. Basically, you got all this stuff on here, all these numbers, and at the very bottom down here, you'll see where it says optimized, evaluated so many decks, and then optimized, and then it's that's your percentage win percentage, 56, 53, 92. So 56.5% basically, and then it gives your cards basically that it's telling you that you need to use out based on that, which in this case is Nexter, and then Dream Haunter, 2 Sacreds, 2 Demis, the Ion, 2 Arcs, and Jack. So what I do is I take that information and I plug it in back up here. And basically of that information of what was here, it's pretty much all the cards I originally put in, except for it's telling me basically to take out the Arcane Sin, I think. Yeah, so if I remove that card that it's telling me, so that this deck down, my results down here are telling me, I make it the same up here, then I can go back and click these 2 options and hit simulate, and then that goes and that'll run, and it'll tell me my best order basically to play those cards under these conditions. This is one option basically that you can do. While it's running, I'm going to go through some of the other different settings that can be done basically in this. Again, you have your different enhancements. These will be used for your brawls and your guild wars. So when running guild wars, you put in whatever the effect is. Like the last one was protect all. So if I put in protect all, the 3rd day was protect all 3. You would put guild war. You do a random climb here, and up here you type in your fortresses that you're using, the structures you're using. We ran Inspiring Altars last time, so I put in and again capitalization and spelling is important. So I put in parentheses 2, meaning that we use 2 of them. And when we were battling our opponents, it was R2 sieges versus 1 of their structures. So you only put in 1 down here. And typically we ran across forbidden archways. If I can spell it right. So you would type it in, make sure your spelling's correct. I may not have these spelled correctly, but you want to have your standard deck, then your fortresses, and we always run 2 sieges, and then the 1 defensive structure, and then the effect. And then I do random climb, and I'll hit sim, and once it's done simulating, I'll take that deck like what I did here a minute ago, and I'll plug it back up in here. Once you plug in those cards that this thing spits out up here, then you switch it to ordered and reorder, and then run it again, and then that'll give you your best. That will give you your best order for those. So you would hit sim again. That's for your offensive ones. If you want to do a defensive deck, which is a deck you don't play, but opponents have to face basically, you would switch to defense, and you do random climb. And you only do random and climb. You don't have to order it because you're not playing the deck, so there's no reason to do these 2. You would just do these 2, and then you put in, you can leave the deck that you ran for your offensive one up here, and then you have to flip-flop these structures. So you would take this and do a copy, or do a cut, paste it up here, and then grab this and cut and paste it down here, and then hit go, and that's your defensive deck. basically. Once that spits out, that will be your defensive deck. That's for Guild Wars. And and brawls are the same way. You just don't have structures for brawls, but I use these same too. And that's where you use this enemy deck. Okay, now let's wipe those out, put this back to 0. If you're going against to do one of the mutant, whether it's Raz or it's the Tyra cannon, when you change these to PvP, ordered, and climb, you put this in, and then you type in the opponent that you're going against. So it looks like that. That will give you level 10 when you hit simulate. If you just want to do level 1, you can put -1 after it, and that'll give you level 1. And the same thing, you can put -2, -3, -8, any one of them. You can run those. So that does that. The only other thing, other than if you want to do a certain opponent, say you're in a brawl, one of you're going heads up against somebody and you know their deck, you can put their deck in here just like you fill out up here. The other thing is raids. How we do raids is if you go back to the file that you have on your in the sim, if you open that thing up, you can go in here, go into the data. It's running slow because it's still simulating that other deck, which I probably ought to just cancel. So, well, it's actually done, so I can show you the results down here real quick. This is the results of best order, basically. So 69% basically is what the percentage in best order versus the 56% in random. And then it gives you the cards. It's saying drop Dream first, and then the Sank, and then a Demi. Both Demis, because it says number 2 here. So it means you would do Dream, Sank, Demi, Sank, Arc, 2 Arcs, and then the Ion Converter, and then Jack last. So, but on raids, you would go back into this file, and there is a file that says raids on it. If you right click and do an edit, it will bring it up. This shows you the name, basically. This is the format. If there's, for the next raid, probably have to add it in here unless the file is updated, which hopefully they do update. But like our last one, if you just open this up and do copy on this, if I remember right, this is how it was done, because I normally don't do this. I do the other way, and paste, and then you can put dash, say I want to find out for level 12. And again, you're going to leave this as because you attack first, and then order and climb. And see, it starts spitting out results. If you want to do for level 26, it'll spit out the results for 26 up here. And see, these ones aren't that great, of course, because this isn't the correct deck for level 26. So that's pretty much most of it. I typically don't use this type of raid setup. I use a gauntlet, which I manually make, and those will be available as the raids come available. If I scroll down through this customs deck one by clicking up here on customs deck, you can scroll. I can scroll down through here and I can maybe show you. Yeah, see, here's the one for the first raid that we had. I created them that says raid 1 through 10 and then raids. So if I type in raids as my enemy, it'll give me a gauntlet of all levels of the raids of that raid. I don't have the second one. I didn't put it in for the second one, but that's how I simmed everybody's decks, was based on this gauntlet. And then after I did the raid one, I did level 10 for your final deck. So if you have any questions, PM me. Basically, that's pretty much it. Thank you.